Good day, sir and everyone. My name is Teng from the Microcontroller Programming and Interface, session 03G from the Group 2 for the projects, Smart Curtain projects. I will now present for the coding for the Arduino IDEs for these projects. From the row 2, we need to include for the liquid crystal I2C library so that we can use I2C module for the LCD display. And from there, we need to input every variables, and then we need to input for every single pins that we need to use for every single output and input at the hardware and the Proteus. By degree is for us to create the character or the symbol that we need, which cannot use by simply entering from the keyboard. From here, we need to pin mode for every single pins so that it will become output and input for every single pins, which from here we can see enable 1, in 1 and in 2 it become the output for the motors. The temperature sensor LM35 LDR push buttons will become the input, digital inputs and analog inputs. And from here we can initialize our LCD so that it can be used, and we need to print so that you'll print out the welcome group 2 and getting started. And from here we can notice that we are using the debounce function so that you will ignore the scattering phenomena caused by the push buttons and the debounce function for push button 2. By recording the value getting from the debounce, which if it was pressed, it will change the mode. And from here we can record the value getting from the LM35, and you record as the temperature value. And from here we will record the value getting from the analog sensors, and will display the value. And if it is in the auto mode, it will light up the red light to indicate that it is in auto mode, while if it's under the manual mode, it will indicate that by red light will not light up. If the window is open and the LDR value is greater than 400, it will initialize the motors to close the curtain, and it will record that the curtain is closed right after 2.5 seconds. If the window is closed and the LDR value is less than 400, it will initialize for the motor to open the curtains, and after 10 seconds it will record the value of curtain is open. And if we changing it to manual modes, we will close the red light so that you indicate that it is in manual modes. When we press the button when the window is open, we will initiate for the motor to open the curtains, and we will display that the curtain is closed right after 2.5 seconds. Else, if we press the button when the window is open, we will initiate for the motor to open the curtain, and after the 10 seconds, we will record that the curtain is open. And that's all from me. I'll pass this presentation to Jeckey.
So good morning everyone, my name is Jeckey and my matrix number is EA19064. So for my turn, I will show you the Proteus simulations. Before that, I would like to introduce the components that we use in this Proteus software. First of all, is also the most important part, which is Arduino Uno. Then we also use the LDR sensor and also the temperature sensor as our analog input. Next, we use two push buttons as our digital inputs. We also use the LCD 16 times 2 display to display the temperature value and also the condition of the curtains. So after that, we also use the red color LED as our output. So the final component that we use in this Proteus is the DC motor. After introduce the components, let's proceed to the simulation part. So after I run the simulations, the LCD display here will show welcome to group 2 because we are from group 2. And if the LCD sensor is 11 or less than 11, it will open the curtains and the motor will start rotate in positive directions. So the LCD also will show the temperature value. So after a few seconds, the DC motor will stop and the LCD will show the curtain is fully open. And when the LCD sensor is 12 or bigger than 12, the curtain is closing and the motor is rotated in another direction. So after a few seconds, the DC motor will stop and the LCD will show the curtain is fully stopped. So for the push button 1 is to change the mode of the curtains, and for push button number 2 is to change the condition of the curtains, whether it's closed or open. So for the LED, if the LED is bright, then which means the curtain is in auto mode. If the LED is not bright, which means the curtain is in manual mode. So when I push the push button number 1, so the LED is not bright and it shows the curtain is in manual mode, and when we push the push button number 2, the curtain will open. So let's see. Yeah, opening the curtains and the DC motor will rotate. Yeah, okay, so after a few seconds, the DC motor will stop and the curtain is fully open. When I click one more time on the push button number 2, the curtain will close. And DC motor will rotate in another direction. So also after a few seconds, the curtain is fully stopped and the motor also the curtain is closed and the motor will stop. So that's all for the Proteus simulations.
Hello everyone, I'm Lua Wei Lin. So I will be in charge for the hardware part for the microcontroller project. So this is my hardware. Okay, these two act as the roller, while this roller is together with the bracket, or this one is together with the DC motor. Then this red color, this one act as the sliding pole, while this clothes is the curtain. Woods and the bracket, all those things is used to stabilize the hardware. So this one is our overall circuit. When we press the reset button, it will show welcome group 2 and getting started. So this one is the 16x2 LCD display that link with I2C module, while this one is the motor driver that link with the battery. So here are the sensors that we use. So this one is the LDR sensor, while this one is the LM35. Then at another breadboard here, we got a 2 push button that enable us to change mode, while this is the LED red, followed by this is the Arduino board, Arduino Uno. So the LCD is actually displaying the temperature and the curtain mode. So currently it's in curtain close. So when the day become darker, then it will state the opening curtain. Then after a while, it will change to curtain open. When day become brighter, it will change to closing curtain and the curtain is closed. Okay, then we will change it to manual mode. So after the LED is turned off, it's in the manual mode. So currently is the curtain closed. So when we press the button, it is opening curtain. After a few while, it will change to curtain open. Then we press the button again. It will show closing curtain and the curtain is closed. So that's all for our group project presentation. Thank you.